Coming to you straight from the Rio Grande and beyond, broadcasting to the four corners of the globe. So grab your seat, your coffee, or your sundowner.
Okay, everybody, here we go.
On point, as always. This is Gloves Off. Gloves Off.
Have you ever wondered about what happens in a martial arts studio? Well, you start right away by setting goals, building determination, gaining focus, building skills, all while becoming more fit, gaining confidence, and learning self-defense. Huitron Academy is a school where attitude meets aptitude. So give us a call at 956-401-4868. Back at you in Gloves Off, and today we have a great guest, a beautiful woman from Laredo. Her name's Ms. De Anda, and we're going to be touching base on meditation and its importances of meditation. And how are we doing?
Great, thank you, Paul.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me be on your podcast today and to be able to have some time to talk about the heart of the matter, meditation.
Absolutely. And well, no, you're welcome here anytime, and there was a great conversation we had the other day, and it's something that is needed. People need to clear their minds, get back centered themselves, and you see it in martial arts. You see the Eastern arts. I always try to meditate before class or after class or what have you. Some of those practices are still instilled in some schools, and then you go towards the West, and it's a little bit different. And I remember asking my professor, and I go, in the Japanese karate and everything else, and you have meditation. Where is it in Savannah? He goes, it's in shadow boxing. Because that's when you clear your mind and you do everything by yourself. That's when you're in there, but you're physically doing it. And I always thought that very fascinating.
Yeah, kind of go into the zone.
Right.
Something deeper than the place where we usually operate.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So how did you get involved in it? What occurred that got you involved in meditation?
Well, let's see. When I first got involved with meditation, I had been married for about 20 years. And I had a great life, on the outside. My husband was a successful attorney. We had a good relationship. We had a 13-year-old daughter. Life was good, but there was something in me that wanted more. I could feel something was missing. I wanted a deeper relationship with my husband. I had, in the years previous, I didn't realize this at the time, but I think there was a deep sadness in me because I kind of lost my base in the 5 to 10 years before that. My mother had died, my father had died, my grandmother had died. It's like my whole base was gone. And anyway, I was going through a time, because I'd gone through some body issues, and I was going through a period of time where I was cleaning out my body, and by different kinds of alternative therapy. And I met a woman in San Francisco who was doing massage, but I didn't even realize at the time because it was kind of an energy work. And it was really wonderful, and it took me to the depths. And I talked to her about what was going on with my husband and I, and at the end of it, because my husband was there also, and luckily he's kind of always right there with me, and that we were very fortunate.
He's a great man. I haven't talked to him for a while, but he's always like conveying with him, because we're always laughing about something or another, joking. So he has that happy-go-lucky attitude.
Yeah. And he's done a lot of really intense work in his career. So this was something that he was looking for as well, But it was almost like we didn't really know. We just knew something was missing. There had to be more. And so she said, you should do this retreat. So we did a retreat, which I'd never done anything like that before, nor had he. And in that retreat, we were introduced to this meditation. And it literally changed my life. I've been practicing this meditation for 28 years now, pretty much on a daily basis. And I'm part of a meditation community,
Sure.
and we have retreats every now and then, one-day retreats. We have, there's a meditation that's streamed. Once you do a retreat, then you can participate in the daily meditations. So it's a meditation that I've been practicing. What I loved about this meditation is that to me, it's what I would call a user-friendly meditation. It's a meditation that reflects the lives that we live in, especially in the West, but really throughout the world, because we're bombarded constantly with stimulation, with mass media, what's going on in the world. Life is hard. Our relationships with our children, with our spouses, with our partners. And I found that this meditation is a place where I can go to, it's a tool that I can use where I can come back to center in myself and get connected to myself. And as a result, that helps me to connect with other people, with people in my life. And it's a 4-part meditation that uses movement. It's different from meditation as we usually think of it. It's an active meditation. We use all kinds of music, from relaxing, calm music to rock and roll.
Sure.
And the idea is to use the emotional body as a gateway into the depths of our heart and soul, because we walk around with these layers of stuff, and we go around saying it's fine, but it's not fine.
You're absolutely correct, and it happens more and more now, because it happens to men in a different way and women in a different way, And I was kind of talk on the masculine side of it. You're not supposed to cry, you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to hear, you're not supposed to show, you're not supposed to talk about it. And all of a sudden you see people break down, and all of a sudden you hit a vice, and that vice grabs you and takes you. Instead of you dealing with the problem, you have a vice now. And you see that with women in the same way. But the age spectrums are different, And I think people need to come back down to their center, as we say, right? To come down and understand that there's more than this, Every problem can be tackled. Show your support with a support group, as you can. If it's 4 or 5 guys hanging around, hey, let's discuss this. If it's 4 or 5 business owners that are around, nobody's competing against everything. Let's help each other out. There's plenty to go around. Period.
That's right.
We have to get away from that red ocean and go into the blue ocean, and we need to start producing out of our elements and start helping others out, And that's what I think happens with men. Men get wound up in a job, and they get stuck in a job. It's 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 5. And they're getting backtracked on, getting logged up. And women too, don't get me, they can start getting backlogged on themselves, and they start digging their hole within themselves. They start putting themselves in a hole instead of figuring out the problems.
Right.
There's planning, let's get this, let's go back down. And I think that's where meditation comes in.
Yeah, so there's that. And then, like in meditation, it's actually, you're going into a space that's beyond trying to figure things out. It's actually opening up to your higher self. And getting away from your mind's picture of how you think things are supposed to be or what you think the solution is, but instead being open to what's actually going to help you move forward in your life, go deeper in your relationships, make the change that you need to make, cross through the fear that's there, for example. And that's like the first part of the meditation is that opening, and it's in that emotional body. But it's what you said. It's is really important, which is that looking and being willing, wanting something else. We refer to it as desire.
Absolutely.
Being willing to look.
Being willing to do it.
Exactly.
There's a difference between the want and the will.
Yeah.
I can want this, I can want that, I can want this. Are you willing to go get it? That's the difference.
Right.
And that's where people confuse both of them.
Right.
A will and a want. And you see people in New Year's resolutions. How many people are saying, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to go into martial arts, I'm going to go this, I'm going to go do that, I'm going to do that. And by January, they're already over doing the same thing they were doing before.
Yeah.
Those are wants, they weren't wills. And you have to set the pattern. I understand. I understand where you're coming from.
But that's a really good example. Because in fact, like in our communities, often with that whole January 1st and resolutions, there's a lot of support for that.
Sure.
But the bottom line is, like you said, it's like making a decision. Like, this is my goal. This is what I want. This is, and staying open to it. And for example, in the meditation, you find a calm place where you feel safe, usually in the privacy of your home, or it might be with a group of people that are doing the same meditation, but someplace where there's privacy, and there's, you close your eyes, you go within, and then say the music starts, and you allow yourself to feel the emotions that come up without any kind of judgment. It's like really total freedom to feel whatever's there, because we all have these feelings, and it's okay. It's part of being a human being. But we're taught that anger's not okay. It's not okay to express full joy. Sometimes we have these limits, and the truth is that the emotional body wants to express. And when you allow that in meditation to move whatever's there, whether it's sadness, joy, frustration, then you can open up into the deeper feelings. Because, for example, if you're worried about something, the mind, going round and round with worry, but what drives worry? Usually it's fear.
Of course.
If you're frustrated about something, well, what drives fear? It's anger. So the meditation gives you the opportunity to dive into the anger or the fear, but with the purpose of letting it go. Really important. It's about releasing. It's not about wallowing in the feelings. It's about releasing, going to the depths of it. And you might dance, you might... one of the tools that we use is screen towel, and which is a really wonderful way to move intense emotions in an appropriate way that keeps you from dumping those feelings on other people.
Sure.
And it can be anger, it can be frustration, but you use, oh dear, I didn't turn off my phone. You use the towel to dive into those feelings. And so would you like to see how we do this? Okay. So what you do is you get the towel, and it can be a hand towel or a washcloth or whatever works for you. And you put it up against your mouth, and then with your other hand you kind of press your vocal cords so that you don't hurt yourself. Because the idea is to go deep with the scream and to scream from your belly, not from your throat. And so it goes like this. I'm going to do it now. So what happens is something clears and you're able to go deeper. Want to try it?
No, but
that's okay.
but now I understand where it's coming from, because that is a great way to release what's inside.
That's right.
Little kids do that.
Exactly. It's a very natural normal thing to do.
Little kids screaming. You're like, what doing? They're screaming because something. They're frustrated of getting this problem out. Whether they're trying to get, and they scream. And parents sometimes go, oops, he's screaming, blah blah blah.
It's
blah.
not okay. They try to control it.
No, and
right.
Listen to it. Figure out the problem that he's having.
Give them the space to do it. So in meditation, as an adult, you're giving yourself the space to go into the depths of that feeling. And the truth is, you start screaming out of anger, and then often there's tears. You
Absolutely.
go into tears, or, often with men, it's rage. And to really give yourself the space to feel that in the safety of the meditation space. So, and we use music to support going into the different feelings, all different kinds of music.
Absolutely. And yesterday I was talking about emotions and how we deal with it within the craft of it. And so I like to look at different. It's Occidental. It's not Oriental. And people say, well, how do you do this? It's the controlling of everything. I'm not wearing pads. I'm wearing shoes. I'm wearing boxing gloves. I'm not hitting you hard.
Right.
I'm actually learning how to control myself, respecting that space, respecting my partner. Yes, I'm not touching him. He's going to touch me. But respecting that and not trying to beat him up and back and forth. So you're controlling your legs when you pick it up. So you're doing all that, and then that teaches you to control your emotion, because if you do get hit, you just don't shoot out and burst out.
Yeah.
So you're controlling that.
Right,
So,
and you're moving the physical body, because we hold things in our physical body.
Absolutely.
And in the meditation, because of the movement that happens, sometimes people do this in the meditation because it's a very natural way to move all of that. And so that's like the first part of that opening. And then at some point in the meditation, often you'll feel because you have a focus, when you start meditation, you have a focus or an intention, something that you're wanting, or it might be a guided meditation. But, so there's an intention, but after a certain amount of movement, then you open up to sometimes a feeling like of longing, or of wanting help, because you've literally opened yourself up enough to allow something else to come in. As you're released, as I said, it's not about wallowing in the streets, it's about releasing them. And then, so sometimes people will pray, sometimes people will be praying in a calm way, sometimes people are praying and dancing. But the idea is, again, to allow something else to come in from, if you will, another dimension, a deeper space that you don't have control over. It's something that's from your soul and your heart.
And you see, and you're right, because you see that, you see the mala, you see the rosary, you see, I forget what it's called, but in Buddhism, you have something that's
like
similar to a rosary.
Yeah.
Right. You have that beads, and that's what the rosary is. In rosary, when you pray the rosary, that's what you're doing. You're meditating. When you do the mala, when the imam calls you, you're meditating, because you're going through the whole thing. You're clearing yourself's mind.
You're pulling on God.
Right.
That's the name I use. Love, whatever word people want to use, but something bigger than us.
And what happens with that is that when you're doing each bead and you're going through each one, you're going down, and you're doing it in a positive, like a prayer, like the Hail Mary, and the act of contrition, and you're doing that in a positive manner, of course you're going to feel better.
Right. Right, because you're trusting that help is coming. You're opening up to something bigger than you. So that's in this meditation. This is kind of the conduit to that. So then, after you this is the first part of the meditation, which is the opening, and then the next part is calming, and that is what I think people are more familiar with when they think of meditation. But it's a calming where you calm the body, the mind, the spirit. And I think of it as like kind of like a funnel of calm to just kind of come into the body, and you allow the thoughts to come and go. But there's nothing to do. You just kind of stay with that calm.
Absolutely.
And then after a couple of minutes of that, and then the next part of the meditation is meditative thinking. And in the meditative thinking, what you do is you focus on one subject. And it could be that you ask questions about it, or it could be that you contemplate. But it's about looking just at one subject, something that's up for you in your life. And it could be something that's going on in a relationship. And maybe it's like, I want a deeper relationship with my daughter, let's say. And then you can begin to look at that, and it's like, maybe, well, how am I getting in the way of having more intimacy with my daughter?
Sure.
And asking questions, but always bringing it back to yourself, because that's one of the things that we always say is the wall is always on your side. The only thing that we really have any control over is our actions, our behavior, is us.
That's a good analogy, that the wall's always on our side. We're the ones that construct it, and we're the ones that bring it down.
That's right.
And
even if we don't realize it, but all the traumas, all those things that have happened in our lives, but it always comes back to a decision of being willing to look. And in that meditative thinking, at that point, you've cleared because of all of the emotional release, and you've gone into something deeper. You've calmed, and now you're asking a question from a very sincere, clear space,
Absolutely.
Which is really different from the place that most of us ask questions about our lives or make decisions.
Sure, you're right. And this meditation, does it have an Eastern, Middle Eastern, Western? Where is this meditation grabbing?
Blend.
Is it a blend?
It's a blend,
So it's
because
a hybrid.
really the meditation was designed, as I said, to be able to incorporate all that's going on in the world, to incorporate our physical body, our mind, our spirit,
Sure.
and to use the emotional body to dive in. So it's different than what most people think of, but this is why I fell in love with the meditation. It was very natural for me, and I was able to go very, very deep. The very first times that I used it, I was amazed at what I was sitting on top of. I was amazed that there was still so much grief for me to let go of. That there was so much anger. I was amazed that I was angry at my mother, who was a wonderful mother, but I found that I was angry because she did the best that she could as a mom, but there was a lot of guilt in the way, we were brought up, which is kind of normal, with a lot of parenting sometimes. But I was angry about that. But the meditation gave me a space to move that out of the way and find a deeper appreciation of my mother, a deeper compassion for who she was and what she had to face as a human being, and forgiveness for any mistakes that they may have made as parents, because we all do the best we can. And that's essentially where the meditation takes us, to more compassion, more love, more care.
It centered us down for us to realize that's what we need to be. That's what's kept us open for 30 years here. Not because of the will or the want. It's a will, not the want to keep it open this much. Because there's always somebody that comes inside, and you want to train people for them to be happy.
Yeah.
You want to train it, and for them to absorb, for them to go out there and continue being there. And that's what it's all about, that people, asked me the question the other day. They said, "Why do you do it? Why do you continue doing it?" I love my community.
Yeah.
You know, I want people to understand how they're afraid. So this is one avenue that they can pick up their courage and learn how to stand on 2 feet.
Exactly. That's exactly it. To tune in to your qualities, because
Absolutely.
we all have incredible qualities. And you mentioned happiness, which yes, it's happiness, but I think it's even deeper than that, Paul. What people are opening up to, I think it's joy.
Sure.
You know, which is really big. You know, joy is
It's bigger
just
than
a
happiness.
wonderful emotion to tap into. In fact, the meditation that we did today on the daily meditation was about joy. And it's like, okay, just put everything aside and just step into joy. And then there was a lot of music to just support that. And it's like, some people might feel it sitting down, calm way. Other people might want to move their body a lot. But it's that joy just gives us so much, and it's what's the word? It's contagious.
It is contagious, and if you are joyful, you're happy. Others are going to be that way. If you go to a work environment that everybody's real glum, well, everybody's going to be glum.
Exactly.
And you have to understand, and that's what people need to understand. You know, because sometimes they're great workers, but if they're in the wrong environment, they're not going to do anything. So you have to change them. That's
right.
why the Japanese.
And it's using the meditation that would be a perfect place to use the meditation.
Absolutely.
To find the courage and the trust and the faith to step out of that job and find another job, but with a plan, which is where the meditative thinking, for example, would fall in, and it would really support. That's what I mean. It's a very practical life kind of meditation, because the last part is taking action with the information that you receive in the meditation.
Absolutely. Have you ever tried doing a workshop here in Laredo?
I have. We did many years ago. We did some 4 days, in fact, out at our home, and they were wonderful. But nowadays, what we've been doing, this started when COVID happened.
Zoom.
Yeah, there's these. We're doing in fact, the next one is April 29th. There's a 1-day workshop. And it's from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And you can do it from the privacy of your home on Zoom. And it's fine if you've never done the meditation, because you'll be taught to do the meditation during the workshop. But it's a really wonderful way to have a lot of movement in your life. Yeah.
Maybe we can set up a workshop. Maybe we can set up a workshop for you to come and teach folks how to
Meditate. I would love that.
Let's start small.
Okay.
Let's do something small, like a small group. You know, I mean, of course, March is already out of the way. You know, we're coming to April, and maybe we can do it for somewhere in May or something.
I would love to do that.
And start putting it in, and start bringing in people when we can do it. Maybe on a Sunday or something.
Absolutely. Or
and maybe not as intense as 5 hours or something.
Oh no! We
But
could
just
do a 30-minute meditation.
Or a 2-hour meditation.
Yeah,
or an hour
we
meditation,
could
what have
start
you.
with a 30-minute meditation, which is a really good way to introduce the
Sure.
meditation. That way people have a chance to hear about it, to hear the explanation, to practice with the screen towel. Because I know it's a little bit awkward at first, but and with any meditation, I always encourage people to try it at least 3 times,
Sure.
because it takes a while, just like anything else.
Absolutely. You know, everything's a habit.
That's right.
And we're creatures of habit. And people say, no, we're not. We're creatures of habit.
Absolutely.
And what happens is that it takes 7 times for one to get inside and ingrain as a habit. So people have to do it, and this goes out to you guys. You know, you guys want to go to the gym, and you go to the gym one day at 10 o'clock at night, and the other day at 6 o'clock in the morning, at 12 o'clock in the morning. You're not building a habit.
Right.
You have to go, okay, I'm going to go for the next week at 5 o'clock in the morning, and make sure you wake up and go at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I guarantee you after that, it's going to be part of your daily plan. And that's what people need to understand.
Or
It's
the
a habit.
other part, excuse me for interrupting, but when you're talking about building a habit, getting a buddy.
Sure.
Having somebody to do it with, because I know that supports me. For example, every morning at 10:45, there is a meditation that's streamed from Denver. And I go to that like, it's what centers me for the day.
Absolutely.
And so if you have a buddy or if you have a group of people to do this with, it's a lot easier. It's a huge support system to get a good habit. And then once you're getting to the habit, it's like you don't want to let it go.
Absolutely. Yeah, I understand. So let's look for that. We'll talk some more about setting up a day.
Okay.
And we'll do it because I think it'll be great. And also like to invite you for something. Maybe you can talk to the women here on the 14th of Friday, April. We're going to be, because it's a lot of issues are going on with stalking. So I'm going to have as a guest here, it's going to be like a little open meeting for women to come down here and they can ask questions and what stalking is all about. And I'm going to have as a guest our district attorney to talk about the elements of it. And I'm going to try to bring somebody else in that's going to talk about the dangers of it. Mm-hmm. Because, stalking is it happens to 1 out of 3 women. So it's a very, very serious matter that goes on here.
Absolutely.
But it happens to 1 out of 5 men as well. So
right.
It happens more prevalent for women than it is with men. And it can lead to other situations and stuff like that, but it occurs. It occurs.
I'd love to come.
Yeah, but Merv, I'll put it up there for you guys to know. It's an event. It's free. There's nothing here. Just come over. It'll be held here, and we can do that. That'd be great. So tell me, out of all the teachers that you've had, which is the one that has inspired you the most in the meditation?
Teachers?
Mm-hmm. Teachers of meditation.
Of meditation. There's this one woman, her name is Piper Makepeace. Makepeace is her real name. And she is the one that has inspired me the most because of her commitment to providing meditation for the world. That's like nothing has stopped her. Like COVID happened, she figured out a way to, make the one-day workshops available. We've got a meditation app now, which it's available for iPhones. Unfortunately, it's not available for Androids. But just the way she is just always supporting people wherever they are. She meets people exactly where they are. And she's taught me that. It's like, there's no right or wrong in this. And there's just supporting people wherever they are and supporting people in what they want. And then it's people's decision to do this or not. But making meditation accessible to so many people, she's been a tremendous inspiration to me.
That's great. And when you have a mentor like that,
absolutely,
that pushes you and continues pushing you in that sense.
Yeah, and that's it. It's because it doesn't feel like pushing, it feels more like encouraging. And because she's supporting me in going towards what I want.
Absolutely. And
in finding the courage and the strength to do it, and the determination, and the humility. These are all some of the qualities that we tap into more and more, right?
Sure. And the reason I said push, because a mentor will push you.
That's right.
And teachers will teach you. But a mentor's going to push you to become what they see you can become.
That's right.
They can see your potential.
That's right.
And that's the difference. But when you lose a mentor, see?
Oh, it's terrible.
And not to death, because sometimes we as humans block them out because they're pushing us.
Right.
And you block them out and say, no, we can do something else, and ignore it. And all of a sudden, how come you don't call back? Because they're looking for somebody else to push.
Right, because it's the student that pulls the push out of the teacher.
Right.
That's absolutely it. It's like when you hear about these great spiritual masters, in the East, and it's intense. But why? Because the student is asking for that. That's their desire that's pulling it out of the master. It's their desire that's pulling it out of the teacher, but you've got to want it. The key is desire. wanting it.
Absolutely. You have some links that I'll go ahead and put out on the description. If anybody of you all want to follow them, please do so. Like I tell you, everything we do in life, it's always to enhance for us to be better, more productive. And that's what we try to do. And whether you're in the martial arts, whether you're in meditation, whether everything, you're going to find out that everything kind of cross-trains with one with the other. And a lot of people don't know that, and eventually things end up, Tai Chi is a meditational form of a martial art, Shen Yi, Bagua, those are that have taken the meditation to another level. You have plenty others. But, some people might not see it, but you see it in there. Same thing in whether you're studying in education, people get lost in books, but they're actually clearing themselves in a positive manner.
Right.
Yeah. And so I want to thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
It's
Thank
my
you so
pleasure.
much.
And we'll do it again, and we will look forward to, we'll set a date, and we'll kind of get together to see when we can do that workshop. I think it'll be very great.
Absolutely.
And we'll try to get as many people that we can, the people that are interested in
whoever wants to come, 3 or 4 people, that's fantastic.
If they want to come, I think that's be the best bet.
Okay.
We're looking forward to
It's a
it.
date.
Okay. And we'll leave you with this, like we always do. Stay safe, be safe, and God bless you all.